Hey, hello everyone. If you came across this video, you probably already know about QTouch and have some automated tests in Python or with Pytest or framework, and you want to report these test cases to QTouch automatically. Let's say that you have some test cases like so, and Pytest you have a Pytest project like this one, just simple one where I'm just telling him to run Pytest is verbose and look for my test under tests folder. So here I just have one file with some test under it, just like a simple test. You can imagine just Selenium WebDriver opening your website and doing some things and eventually pass, or here Appium or whatever tool you just using that do something and eventually will fail. Here you have a parameterized test where you combine different test cases with one automated test, but it just take different parameters, but you want to treat each test execution result uh, as a separate test case, and you want Pytest to report to different test cases in Qtouch. You can ignore this in folder, just an virtual environment for Python. Let me just try to run this and see if it's work and see how. Okay, it's just working with some passed test and some failed. Now let me just see what I want from this to happen in Qtouch. So here on Qtouch, I'm just opening my portal. I have my awesome project with some tests in it, and I just created a test run with all my tests, and I want to make those 5 tests after running from Pytest to be reported directly to Qtouch and change the status of each one of them depending on the execution result of Pytest. So how we do this? We need to first use the Pytest Qtouch plugin by installing it. You need just to install this. Let me install it. Okay, installed. So next we need to do 2 things. We need to configure Pytest to be able to run, and also we need to make Pytest know or mark each test case from these test cases by the corresponding test run inside the test runner. So I need to mark this test case to be reported to this test case in Qtouch, and this one to this one, and the parameterized test to this 3. So how to do this? We need to import Qtouch from Pytest. So from Pytest QA Touch, we need to import QA Touch and mark each test QA Touch TR by the corresponding test runner. So this will be 1, and this will be 2. This will not be 3. If you did this if you did it like this, it will just report to this one, and the status for this one will be the final status from the 3. Will be the final status from this. If this pass, it will be passed. If it will fail, it will be failed, even if the first 2 was passing. So you don't need to do this. What you need to do is to use the option called marks, or the argument marks equal QA Touch TR, and let's see, this is 3. Let me remove this and add this one to the next 2. This will be 4, and this will be 5. Okay, we linked each test from Pytest with the corresponding test case in Qtouch, but now we need to configure my Pytest. To configure it, we can use the configuration as described here. This configuration option in Pytest or this command line. You can also use the command line option inside the configuration Pytest under the add options section. So let me just show to you how to do this. So here is how. You just specify if you will need to enable Qtouch to run or not by setting it to true or false. You need to set your domain, your token, your project key, your test run key. You can use this configuration option like this, or you can also use it with add options like this, or you can use it with the command line by passing it to the Pytest runner like so. Pytest dash QA Touch equal true. It will run, but it will fail because we didn't specify anything else. So just okay, it's running, try to run, but it failed because it doesn't know anything about your domain, your token, your project key, or your test runner. So now I just gonna remove this, and then I'm just gonna set my values here. Where I can get this, I can get it from Qtouch. The easiest way is to just get it from here. Open your config in your test runner that you want your Pytest to report this status to it. You need to open this configuration, and you will find your option here. This is your domain. Here is your API token, and here is your project key, and here is your run test key. You need just to copy these values and add it here. Just gonna do this. I will pause, gonna do this and get back. So here it is, how it will look like. So let me run Pytest and see what will happen. Pytest. Okay, running. Okay, your Qtouch request updated as this run successfully with this message. Let me check in my Qtouch. Okay. Just gonna refresh it, and it seemed like it's like working fine. The first one passing, the second one was failing, the parameterized test, the final one was last failing, and the other two was passing, like here. So just working fine. So that was it. I hope it was useful for you, and please, if you have an issue or you want to contribute, go open the GitHub repo for this project and file an issue, or you can contact with me. That will be cool. Thank you and have a nice day.